now. Okay, so you should got everything set up here. Bring you over here. Close this. There we go. Okie dokie. Now we just wait for everyone to start funneling in. It should be fun. I want to try to get some Christmas copyright music, non-copyright music, I should say, to put in, but I could not find any in time, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah. So now we just wait.
Maybe we could just sing some carols.
I don't think you want me to
sing
sing.
voice, Manning.
No, I'm not.
Not for me, man.
No, no.
It's a gift.
No, I'm not good at singing. But welcome everyone. Hey Laser Flip, how you doing? Black Dice Gaming, how are you doing? I need to. Count Maximus, Manning. You have the link, right? So you'll be able to see the chat in real time over there. Otherwise, it's going to be a little delayed. I could probably share I shared my screen though. It might cause this weird thing. No sing along stream. No, sorry, Puznut. Sorry. Okay, Manning is there. Manning is there. Not sure if Maximus is yet or not. And the King of Queens is going to be a little late today, everyone. But yes, welcome to the Holiday Brew. So we got 15 watching. We'll see if we can. I don't know if we got a shot to break the record that we had when Maximus officially took over, became the new president. We got 64 watching on that one. So, King of Queens, okay? He is here.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Awesome. Thanks for having me here. In true New Yorker fashion, I'm in the middle of traffic right now, navigating the Long Island Expressway. So,
oh, geez,
you're getting the real experience here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Give us a horn blast.
Yeah, here we go.
Get stealth. Okay, Laser Flip said get stealth and it would get views. I tried to contact, so I wasn't quite sure if that one guy was actually Stealth G605 on Reddit or not as well. So I'm not 100% sure if I was able to get him, and I know Shaman wanted to stay anonymous, so we were unable to get either one for this one.
Can't stay too anonymous in this game. It's almost impossible.
Yeah, I mean, I try to be as anonymous as I can for reasons outside of beer money stuff. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, so. Hey Pharaoh, happy holidays. Have any of you heard of the Bitcoin app? 75 to 150 a day. I have not. I can throw it into the queue. I am looking for beer money apps to review in 2025. I'll talk about that lineup a little later, y'all. If you have questions to ask Manning, King of Queens, and Count Maximus / Maximus Damages, what were you drinking out of? Oh, that's why you were showing the Atlas Reality mug. Was it the mug or was it the?
It's actually it's what I drink water out of.
Okay, it's what do they call that? Sport bottle? I think I'm gonna call it. I think it's a sport bottle.
No, I would have to be very strong to be able. It's like stainless steel. It's like it's a.
What do they call it?
It's insulated mug, but this thing is way bigger than a mug.
It's not. I have one of those for the company I work for. So I just what do they call it? They called it a sports bottle, but it's not a sports bottle. A sports bottle is like plastic and a little smaller than that. Yeah. I can't remember that. What we got here? Oh, Atlas Yeti. Oh. Yeti.
Yeti.
It's a-
Yeah, they're not. It's not in a merch store. Yeti doesn't do on-demand business. They have to buy it in bulk. So we have it in our merch store. We don't really take any inventory risk. So all the stuff, the mugs and the shirts and the hoodies that people have bought. And thank you guys for buying those. But those are done kind of through on-demand services, and Yeti just doesn't have an on-demand offering that's connected to our. We use Shopify to kind of run our store.
Thermos.
It's just
That's what it is.
I'd buy that.
Thermos.
Yeah.
Yes, Black Dice Gaming. Thank you. Thermos. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Tumbler. Oh, a tumbler as well. Tumblers are a little smaller than that, though. It's not quite a tumbler. I think a tumbler looks a little bit more like well, I can't show because I don't have one on me, but like my father used to have it when he used to drink a lot. Drink a lot of coffee, so I can't think about that. But yes, thermos, that's what it is. That was the word I was thinking of. Just okay, people coming in now. We got 25. All right, how about I open up an ad and get a couple Atlas bucks going for the day? All right, what do we got? Okay, I got a My Purina app, so. All right, so yeah, we're here. They're here to answer questions today. Just hang out. Have any questions regarding Atlas Earth that you didn't hear on the round table as well? Yeah, it was a thermos. New stickers? Nice. I gotta make my own customized stickers. There's a couple things I plan to do for the channel next year. We're definitely gonna start upping the production value a little bit is what I want to do. One of the first things I want to do is find noise cancellation that I can use to cancel out the traffic noise that pops in during streams. So that will be something I do for next year. $25 this month in receipt scannings. Yeah, Manning, you should. Have you guys thought about doing like Atlas receipts or something?
Well, we have looked at it. We know that other kind of apps that are in your ecosystem utilize that. We don't want to have a competitive experience to AMP. That's really, obviously the limitation there is stores available, but we're trying to not necessarily compete with that feature because that has a lot more strategic value to us than receipts. Receipts don't really do much for us. We could sell that data to someone else, and that's how we would get paid, and then we share that back with you in AB. But I'm just not. It's not that I'm not saying we wouldn't do it, but it's definitely not a priority. We'd rather spend our energy making AMP more robust and delivering the roadmap that we shared last week.
All right. I'm going to turn to Count Maximus and the King of Queens here. So you're new to the channel, so welcome to both of you.
Thanks.
And King of Queens just disappeared.
Oh no.
He's fighting traffic. That's fine. We'll start with Count Maximus. So how did you find Atlas Earth, Count?
I saw the ads pop up because I do the same kind of thing you do, trying to find mobile apps I can play to earn money. I've done lots of survey apps, and the ads pop up once in a while, and it just didn't strike me as first as the kind of thing I wanted to try. But after a while, yeah, I get in a mood sometimes, and I just say, okay, I'm ready to try a new app, and I tried this one, and I was really cautious at first. A lot of people didn't become aware of me until I became the governor of Pennsylvania, but I had been playing for over 4 months before that. I did the grind thing for about a month, and got my first taste for wanting to have a mayorship. And so I started buying the 2,000 packs, and I got my first couple of mayor ships, and well, it's quite addictive. I think I have
Yeah.
made that clear in the in the various Discord server chats, and
Well, you're almost
so
70,000 parcels later.
yeah, 2 week stint as mayor, as a president, yeah. But it's I love the competition. I love the strategy. It's very fun to me, and analyzing the data is that's just been my thing the whole time. So
I was actually just going to ask.
I don't go ahead.
No, I was just go ahead. Keep going, Count. I'm sorry. I was
So a lot of people on the Discord chats, they talk about spreadsheets, and I started out the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mr. Everything and I had a discussion about that last night. He says your spreadsheet must be ridiculous, and I admitted, I had a spreadsheet until I started buying parcels in North Carolina, and it kind of got out of control at that point.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have 500 columns in my spreadsheet and have to update that every day. So I developed something in an Access database to help me manage it. It's much better that way for me. But as you all know, 180 to 200 mayorships. If you were getting 40 or 50 line items on your mayor badge income and stuff, just entering that into a spreadsheet that big would be hour-long tasks. So
yeah, that is. I'm. But by the way, regarding North Carolina, thanks for taking Davidson County from Glaston because he took Rowan County from me.
Davidson County? I'm not familiar with Davidson County.
Yeah, Glaston told me you took Davidson County, so it got him out of reach in North Carolina, and then he took Rowan County, which was going to be my target back in October. And so I was pretty much stuck grabbing Landis and probably going to get Enochville as well. Oops. Excuse me.
Sorry, man.
No problem. Yeah. So I forgot to mention this question, but I think Manny already answered it on the chat about introducing a step counter for Atlas Earth.
Uh-huh.
But it looks like Manning said that.
No, I can quickly explain that for so people just don't have to read the chat. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I know there's other apps and you can monetize that data. There, especially as we started to go to other countries and to start to understand all of the different privacy concerns. When a step data is actually considered health data, and in the U.S. is actually considered part of HIPAA. And just there's all kinds of like privacy things that, frankly, for us, it's just not worth maintaining that across all the different jurisdictions in which we would operate. So, and so, yeah, it's a cool idea, but the level of like oversight and regulatory burden we would have to put around that data and how we'd have to fence that off is just not worth it.
Just between the two, which one would you prefer, steps or receipts? Just personally.
Personally?
Yes.
I mean, if I had to take my operational business risk hat off of, I would the one I would use more would be steps, because receipts, I mean, I just would never do that.
I feel really bad about this because I do lots of receipts with Google Rewards.
Listen, I am personally not in the target of like beer money kind of
true.
Like,
yeah.
I don't. This Atlas Earth is the only app I have, so
yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, so
there are some areas of overlap, by the way. I mean, and not to say, this is not about AMP, but I don't know if folks here, were received all the ads and targeted promotion for Upside, but Upside essentially is that kind of merchant rewards receipt upload like platform that maybe you're kind of alluding to. But something that's been interesting on my part is that it's not a 100% match, but you will find some of the AMP partners like a local restaurant and bar in my area of Queens is also is an AMP partner, but also is on Upside. So you get your Atlas bucks for having a beer or two or three or more, and at the same time you're getting some cash back as well through the Upside app. So it's a little bit of a hack. It's not much money, but it's a nice little boost.
Yeah, well, and Upside it is. They've got a really interesting business, and they have all different kinds of ways in which you can earn. And the reason why, just technically, why they do the receipt upload is because the integration at that merchant, they don't want to do that. Connects like AMP connects through Visa and MasterCard, and so this is a way in which because essentially the way that cashback reward is funded is through what they call attribution. And so you need to prove that I drove Mike's, 4 beer sales at the local place. And so, so what that attribution is just delivered via the receipt data, and that's how basically they invoice that company. And so for us, we're not like Upside where that's our primary business. AMP is a part of what we do. It's important to us, but we do lots of other things. And so creating basically a network of business development people to go out and sell all these deals and not have it be in a way that scales technically, that's like very manual with receipt upload. That just for us is just like, that's not how we go to market.
Yeah, that is one thing with a lot of receipt apps. It tends to be a bit of a pain. Question for Max and King from Budget Investing. Did you spend money because you enjoy mobile games, or do you see a bright future on an investment return with Atlas Earth? Who wants to start?
Go ahead, King.
Yeah. I fully believe in this platform, and I mean it's growing leaps and bounds, and it's funny because it's like we all talk about the next gen of the leaderboard, right? Like, open boosters, we love the guy, but he's falling off here. He'll be 10 plus, but who would have thought that a year ago? It's insane.
Yeah.
So there's constant inward momentum of new players, a hell of a lot of competition, obviously. Shaman, and I'm here for the long run. So I figure this is probably a 5 to 7 year kind of investment of time, and a little bit of money as well.
Uh-oh. Is he gone?
And Verizon, maybe.
Uh-oh. Hey, don't badmouth Verizon.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not bad mouthing him. That's just more the. Can you hear me? That's the old school.
Yeah. Well, I can talk while he's reestablishing connection.
Go ahead. Yeah, sure.
So, like I said, I started slow, and it was a couple of months before I joined Discord, and as I read more in Discord, and I got Manning invited me to the whale chat and everything. We started talking, and he started sharing the vision. I mean, sometimes we would get a first look at it before he would put it out to everybody, and I just saw his vision. And a lot of people are concerned. Oh, it's going to be 8 or 9 years till you get a return. Well, yeah, I feel pretty comfortable. He'll definitely be here 5 years from now. Nowadays, I'm feeling more comfortable. He's going to be here for 7 to 10 years, maybe even longer. And everything that you do is a risk, whether it's the stock market or even a savings account these days. If the bank shuts down, yeah, you might be FDI insured, but if the government spends too much money, you'll be bringing a wheelbarrow of cash in to buy a loaf of bread. So this may have more risk than some, but I'm having a lot of fun while I'm in doing my risk. And that's eventually what led me to go for the presidency. I felt like that was the chance to get the best and quickest return. You know, the timing with Shaman, you know, I wish it would have been different, but uh, somebody pointed out to me recently that if I hadn't made the move when I did, I would have never been president. So
I mean, you were still
I can
president for 2
appreciate that.
weeks. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's still you know that's still 2 weeks more than all but 6 people in the game.
yeah,
So
and it was fun. It was difficult, but it was fun. And I have great hopes going forward for this game. I use just about every aspect of it, and I have this app open just about 24/7. I'm sure Manny likes to hear that.
I'm roughly so I'm not quite the same way. I do flip back and forth between like 20 different beer money apps, but Atlas Earth is definitely the one I look at the most. And it's the one that people want me to cover the most by far. It's not even close. I think the next one people request to cover after Atlas Earth is, I believe, Bridge. So it's not even close, and they're like, and I get like maybe like a third of what I do for Atlas Earth. It's crazy what they've done with the and like you two, I was a little cautious of Atlas Earth at first. I wasn't quite sure what to think. I mentioned I had some, if you look at my very early videos, like we're talking like pre-Manning even knowing that Atlas Earth existed. Although I don't know, when did you find out Atlas Earth? When did you start investing in it? When you were in Acorns, by the way, Manning?
Well, I invested in 2018.
Oh, okay, so it's definitely
So Atlas Earth didn't exist. So I
yeah.
invested in Sami.
Okay.
Because Sami worked, he actually worked for me, and
Okay.
he was doing this as a side project, and he was like struggling with like, I want to do this, but I feel very loyal to the company, and I was like, dude, go do this. It's okay. We're going to be great, but go do this thing that you want to do, and not that I unlocked that he's an adult, he can do whatever he wants to do, but yeah, so I invested long before I knew the game, and I didn't download the game until the day I started. So
Okay. Okay. I was wondering.
the day I started working. So even as an investor, even after the game existed, I didn't play.
Okay. So I played from January 2022. I did take like a 7-8 month hiatus sometime in between, I'd say the end of 2022 to the middle of 2023. During that time, I had mentioned some things that I thought that Atlas Earth could do to be stable, and this was coming off of, so Atlas Earth started out probably at the worst possible time, in my opinion, to start out. I don't think you could have started out at a worse time, because there was this crypto boom, and what you were dealing with was like you had one side talking about how all of these new play to earn games were all scams. And then on the other side, you had all these bigger Web3 games like Upland, Decentraland, Sandbox, kind of putting pressure on Atlas Earth, telling them, oh, you're not making enough money with this app. So Atlas Earth was kind of stuck in the middle, and a lot of people thought that the game would not last. Well, here we are 2 years later, and you guys have managed to come out like a phoenix. And I personally think you guys are probably the best rewards app out there right now. So,
well, thank you.
Yeah.
That's very
not without a hell of a lot of support here too. I mean,
yeah.
Manning, you're amazing how you're all over everything. I mean, like it's just absolutely incredible. I know everybody in the community, sees that, and everyone's just super appreciative. So while we have that quick moment, I wanted to do a quick shout out here to Manning for really everything and all the amazing support here. So
yeah,
well, thank you.
Put a toast for
sorry.
that.
Amen.
You can't see me putting on my glass for it, but yeah, for a toast. But yeah, you can see my glass.
No, I appreciate that. I'm no different than anyone else at the company. We all work this way. We all care this way, and yeah, we are a small team. But I would say, through the years, we've always been very good at customer acquisition. That was true when we launched, even though maybe Pharaoh, to your point, it wasn't the right ideal time. But God, there's just never an ideal time to start a
Right.
thing. Um, and this thing had traction from day one.
I think you're on mute.
Oh,
There you go.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
Got it. No, this thing had traction from day one. We've always been very good at customer acquisition. I would say kind of the the more challenging times were really in kind of the first half of 2023 when we actually had to really constrain growth because we were having stability issues, mostly just due to scale challenges and every company you make some hard trade-off decisions early on to get something out the door, and then if you have some type of escape velocity, you really hate every single one of those hard decisions that you made, but you needed to make them, and so then you have to go redo everything. And so that was very challenging for us because the game was growing so intensely. So we really had to cut back on customer acquisition, which is like, as a growth company, not what you want to have to do, but you have to also keep the thing up. And so those folks who've been with us the whole time and were around when the app would crash in the middle of an SRB, and it would, this was very painful operationally, and but those days are behind us, and it's because we made all those hard, difficult investments in replatforming everything from in 23 and a little bit into early this year. But that has really unlocked a lot of the things that you guys have seen this year. So thank you. But I'm just one person on a team of many. I appreciate the personal accolades, but I'm no more committed and no more all over it than anyone else at the company.
Well, who did come up with the idea of kind of like pulling away from the Web3 tokens and moving into more rewards app style?
I don't think Sami and Bo, and Morgan, who are co-founders, but there's mostly Sami and Bo. And Sami is very clear from inception of exactly what this app is going to do, and he is very disciplined about not following trends and not chasing the next thing. The mathematical orientation of the game, the metrics that we've had since the first day that we launched it, gave us lots of confidence on what this could be, and didn't force us to have to chase things that may or may not be real. So that's really just the discipline of how Sami and
I was curious because I thought you guys were talking about Web3 for a while. So
I mean, listen, everybody was for a little bit, but like we didn't act on it. You didn't see it in the game.
Yeah, I know. I was just wondering because I know it was being talked about in the early days. And yeah, you guys came out at the same time that all these Web3 games were booming as well. Those Web3 games not booming so much anymore. And all the while, Atlas Earth has continued to buff their reward system continuously almost. I don't think we've seen a nerf yet, actually. I think it's just been nothing but buffs. Could be wrong.
Oh, I think that's debatable. Well, there's some people that think calendars, or not calendars, but challenges are nerfed. But
that is a buff. That is clearly a buff. Like even if I just did, and I'm going to go to challenges here. Even if I just did, I'm going to go back to way down here at the bottom, and I just do like the first 4 here. That's like, that alone would be like 5 Atlas bucks and 6 diamonds more than I would have had in a month. Maybe even 15 Atlas bucks. So that is a buff. Anything that you gain Atlas bucks is a buff, in my opinion, anyway. I've been very vocal on that. Just because you're not guaranteed to get the legendary parcel without spending money doesn't mean that you're not going to get something, well, or the badge, I should say, if you're playing for free. Does not mean that you're not gaining something from it and you're getting more Atlas bucks this month than you are the previous month. But that's my personal opinion. Okay, question for Well, let's see. Landmarks win, and my second question: Landmarks win. Go check out the last video that I had out. We did a roundtable. Manning, Shane, AJ, and myself, and we talked about that in the roadmap. He had mentioned, I believe, it's not going to be Q1 though, right? So, yeah.
I mean, Q1 2029, maybe.
Oh shit.
Well, actually, you know what? I'll make a promise to you. It will be before Q1 2029.
Okay. Yes, it'll be before I pay off this house. That'll be great.
Under promise, over deliver, as always, Manning.
Yep. Hey, I like that stuff. That's what I try to do too. Download AE 1 week after launch. Have mayorships in Dothan, Columbia, and Haleburg, Alabama. Awesome, JW. Just a question for Max. During that 2-week period of presidency, how many Atlas bucks did he receive from badge purchases? I'm assuming just the U.S. badge purchases. If you have if you want to disclose that.
That was the average was 26.77 a day.
Okay, 26. That's a little less than I thought it would be. I think I pegged it at around the 4,000 range.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people were predicting or saying it was going to be 2,500 based on, I guess, what Open Boosters had said, and it pretty much stayed in that realm. There were some spikes that were nice, and I really appreciate people that were kind of holding on to that U.S. badge, waiting for stealth to get taken down.
Yeah,
appreciate support there, but it wasn't. I think the highest number I got was over 4,000 one time.
Okay. Which I would be curious to know about states myself, but we're gonna hold off on that. 480 something national, 5 in state. Awesome, JW. So current thoughts on coin supply. I guess that's my question. I'm iffy on coin supply right now, Doomin. I believe so. I haven't really gone back and taken a look at it, and I want to do a full review on coin supply sometime in 2025, probably around the time Manning releases Landmarks. Maybe a little before that. We'll see. But I actually do coin supply once in a while. It just became too slow of an earner for me. It just got blocked to a lot of other stuff like Bridge, like Benjamin, like Atlas Earth. Actually, weird enough, once I started playing on the Atlas Arcade for the challenges, I stopped caring, and free cash especially. Like the Word Yahtzee, which I mentioned I was going to do Word Yahtzee to finish it up, but I miscalculated. I have to log in at 7 p.m. tonight to get the 30th day, and then I'll get the $75. More reviews on several Beer Money apps. Oh, you want reviews? You're getting reviews. Leading to Beer Money Mania, I'm planning on a review every other week at least. And we will start the year with Caden. We're going to start the year with Caden. I did buy an iPhone. I did install Caden. It's good. It's going to be there. So,
Cointoply, what the hell is this Cointoply name? Is that crypto toilet paper? What is that?
So Cointoply. So I think I talked with you about that there's these rewards apps that are like Swagbucks. They're just like a little bit of everything. Swagbucks is like that. Bridge, Benjamin, Atlas Earth is slowly turning into that in a way because you have the arcade, the surveys, and other stuff. Coin supply is like that, but they cash out solely in crypto. So that's kind of the difference between them and the rest of y'all, where you guys cash out in fiat. Well, you guys will cash out in crypto very soon as well. So,
yep.
So yeah, you'll be, but they only do crypto, and the issue and they also have a faucet. So the faucet that they do is you can click claim once an hour, and they do this kind of random lottery drawing from 0 to 100,000, and at a certain point, 0 to 96,000, you'll get 24 coins. 96,000 to 98,000, you'll get 50 coins or something like that. and then they convert 10,000 coins to $1. You can also play games. You can also do surveys and stuff. It was fine early on, but I feel like they've kind of fallen off a little bit as Bridge, Benjamin, you guys, Free Cash. I personally think you four are the big four, basically, in this channel. Have basically buffed. Coin supply has kind of just stayed stagnant. So that's where. So I don't know. Coin supply surprisingly did not make the tournament last year. That was a bit of a shock to me, actually, that it did not, because a lot of people were talking about it in the past. Crypto toilet paper? No, did he say crypto toilet paper? No, he didn't.
That was. I know I did. I was making a joke about.
Oh, okay.
The coin supply. It's. I mean, it sounds like it's fucking crypto toilet paper.
Coin to ply. Oh, I got you. Now I understand. Oh, coin to ply. Maybe that might be the new. Maybe that might be a crypto I might do just for.
I will sell them the advertising campaign for that if you want to connect me to them.
Coin to ply. You just call it 2-ply or something.
Coin 3-ply. We're going to do coin 3-ply.
I'm seeing bears wiggling their hind ends in my head. I just.
Oh, laser flip. Quick update for your Pharaoh. I have one prop left on Upland. Oh yeah, Upland. As soon as I sold, you're pressing erase. I still have a lot. I got to do an Upland to get rid of it, but I am in the process of completely leaving the game by February of next year. That's my plan. I'll be leaving it completely. I'm done with it. I might do a review. I've gotten a lot of. Okay, they are actually the third most requested app after Bridge and Atlas Earth, but for entirely different reasons. They want me to really just like lay into them. I don't want to lay into them that much because I don't like making enemies. And okay, you guys have to understand, like, I don't like making enemies with people unless they come at me first. There are certain people in the Upland community that I don't like. But Upland themselves, the company themselves, Upland me, I have no ill will against them. So, does not matter to me that much. Started Ember Fund, profitable for now, up to $100 in 3 weeks. Nice, Destro. How'd you get $100 in 3 weeks? That doesn't sound right. Do you have like referrals with that? I'm only looking at like $2 a day, but whatever. Manning, don't do what Upland does. I have many examples. No, I've talked with Manning about it before. No, Atlas Earth will never be. I don't think Atlas Earth will ever be Upland. Even like Atlas Earth in their worst has never been as bad as Upland has been, guys. Not even close. Not even close. I don't care what Upper Echelon says. Or any of the guys over there as well. What was that? Danny K also keep talking. Danny K keeps talking about like he kept like promoting Upland for the longest time. Like, oh, there's such better app than Atlas Earth. I'm like, dude, I don't understand why you think that way. Seriously. Oh, current.
You know, some people like vanilla, some people like chocolate, some people like bubblegum ice cream. You know, people like what they like.
Well. Okay. I did not ask the King of Queens a question if he's able to. You there, King of Queens? Just double checking. If he's not, okay, I was going to ask him how he got into Atlas Earth, but we will wait on that one.
He's muted.
Yeah, he's muted. Oh, yeah, so I'll wait for him to get back. What did Upland do that is bad? What haven't they done? Let's not get to that on this stream. Let's not get to that. And it's not Upland, the company itself. There's certain people in the community who I don't like. So that I'm just going to leave it at that. So let's see here. So yeah, King of Queens is still going. So okay,
I'm
there
here.
you are.
Yeah, I'm good. I can talk.
Okay, great. So how did you get into
Sorry about
Atlas?
that.
No problem. How did you get into Atlas Earth?
Well, this was over the summer, and funny enough, it was just interacting with a Facebook ad, and it was just an interesting ad to essentially, your.
Still muted. It looks like he's still having trouble.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm glad he came to join us in the stream though, for sure. Hey Benz, how you doing? So
Are we ignoring Sip's question?
oh, current status on Shaman. Let me go to the leaderboard. He's 20,000, almost 20,000 parcels above Maximus.
I guess if he can elaborate on
back
the
here at the house.
Yeah,
Cool.
Shaman prefers to stay anonymous, is what I understand. So
Yeah, and I won't talk about other players. So.
yeah, and I'm not going to put Manning on the spot on that one.
I'll just say no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So sorry about that, guys. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. It was literally just a Facebook ad that I saw over the summer, and I interacted with it. I downloaded it. I was using other geo apps like the Coin app, for example, and took a lot of interest in that. And I just got hooked. I realized I was starting to play this, and obviously the New York area is insanely busy, and it's a population center here on the app as well. And yeah, I mean, it was like I realized I downloaded it one weekend. I'm like, oh shit, I'm screwed. Like, there goes my savings.
Oh man.
So, well, here we are. I mean, it's I think personally, I kind of got caught up in the whale war. I know there was a lot of discussion about that online, which was interesting. And I'm not done yet. I know this is a little bit quiet right now, but we'll see what other big moves are up my sleeve.
I'm curious as to I don't know what you guys' plans are right now, but like, do either of you plan on trying to retake the presidency?
Yes.
I'm waiting for some I don't know, luck to hit, I guess. Maybe a sweepstakes or a lottery or something would be nice.
Ah. Same. I'm waiting. Although I have like a 30th of the parcels down that you two do. I just broke 2,000, so
but I'm not completely disengaging though. I'm definitely all in on this game. Like I said, I use pretty much every aspect of it. So I'm gonna fight to keep what I have for sure.
Yeah. Doomin, what advice would you give to someone who's at 150 parcels and is simply waiting until they have enough Atlas bucks to tier jump? If y'all want to answer that one.
I don't know why everybody's so afraid of the tiers. Like, everyone's so hooked on staying at 150 or maxing out at 1,500. And it's funny, you can go through the national leaderboard and get down towards folks that are at that 1,500 point. There's hundreds of, it seems like an inordinate amount of users that are stuck at the 1,500 because they are convinced that there is no benefit to exceeding that.
Well,
almost like there's a guardrail there.
Yeah, everyone's waiting until they can get enough to break even on 2x, so they usually build up like 200 or so parcels in preparation to get to 2x. I did in October take a risk, and I stopped at about 140, I think, and then just kind of pushed my way over. And I showed that yes, actually, by jumping early, by tier jumping early, a little earlier than I planned, I actually did manage to make more money out of it, if only by a few cents, but still. So,
well, I mean, I'll give you a perspective from our side,
yeah,
if you're interested.
Of course.
We it's funny because we and through the challenges kind of feedback we would get, people think that we put purchase parcels challenges in there to get people to break tier, which is like it didn't even cross our mind. We don't think about tier jumping. We just don't even. It's never a discussion that we have. I'm the only person in the company that looks at the distribution of parcels owned, like number of players by parcels owned, and you can see, yes, 150 in the U.S. and 220, and you can see those kind of max tier amounts, but it's not nearly as many players doing that, following that strategy as you would think, and for me, the insight from that, outside of the fact that there's all different types of ways in which to play the game, is I tried to actually, because I've been following along the community and I'm listening to the arguments for tier jumping, I said, okay, well, I was going to stay at 535. I'm at like 670 something now. I was going to stay at 535 or 575 or wherever the tier was. I can't remember. But I was going to stay there and hold my AB and then do one big tier jump. And I did it for like a week. And I just realized that I actually like to buy parcels. And by like not buying parcels, it kind of like was less satisfying. And so I don't really care about the sense that I'm going to miss in earnings, and I just wanted to play the game. And so I think there's a lot of people that think about it that way too.
Well, I do apologize for sort of making it popular with my optimal strategy guide. So I know a lot of people like optimization. A lot of people like to know that they're doing the right thing and optimizing and playing the game. So I came up with this whole like, I'm a big numbers nerd. Like that is my thing. Like if you've seen this channel, I would like to every once in a while do something not beer money related. I did a video on how long it would take to finish the world's worst board game, for example. I plan to do another one on Mr. Bacon's Big Adventure, how many calories you're going to eat in the meat feast. That's going to be coming in 2025. That was planning for a few months ago, but that's coming in. I'm going to plan that for like spring or summer of 2025, and I'm sure Cam Sandwich would love that. I'd like to do that before his tournament. Anyway, I digress. I know that people like optimization. I'm big on numbers, so I try to tell people, okay, if you want to make the most out of playing your game, and it's just like this with all games, Manning. Everyone wants to know, I played Pokemon competitively. No one wants to play with as an example, no one wants to play with a Wigglytuff. They want to play with, or a Pikachu. They want to play with a Fluttermane or a Dragonite, something that will be competitive so they can win money and they can win prizes. It's the same way with Atlas Earth. People want to know the best way to optimize. And I think that's the reason why people all like tier jumping, is because it does optimize the use of your Atlas bucks to have it build out the most dollars that you can, even if it's just really, admittedly, we're just talking pennies here, but
yeah.
So,
well, I just would say I love that you do that. I love that players play that way. I love, we're not against people trying to play that way. I would just say that if you look at the actual data, it's somewhere between 4 and 5% of players that follow that strategy. It's a really small percentage.
Well, it's good to know that I got a lot more people I can get to, that I can reach out to for this channel. Then that's great. Actually, I like that. Yeah. I was hoping for lower, honestly.
But I think because it's a game, and it is a game, right? Not everybody is like wanting to optimize. Sometimes people just want to play.
I get it. Look, I totally understand. And if that's the way that you want to do, that's great too. I'm here doing my optimal strategy guides once a year. It might be a little more than that because because Atlas Reality, you guys bring out so much stuff now. I actually have to make a 5th edition early, so thanks for that. That'll be coming out probably in the spring, but if you guys just want to play the game, hey, play the game. Absolutely. I'm not here. I'm not going to stop you. I just want to show the best way to optimize. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Well, the best way in which we use 150. I'll just give one little, and I'll stop dominating here. But it's the best way to find cheaters.
Really? 150?
Yep.
How would that work?
Well, because they have multiple accounts, they juice them to 150. They get a crazy rarity.
The rarity thing.
And they sit there, and they just sit there at
Oh
150
yeah,
and don't do it.
the thing that happened with Zupfrog last year.
Oh,
The Zupfrog incident.
What was
maybe.
he selling? Selling stuff to himself?
No, he was selling. So him and his father were switching parcels to each other, so that Zupfrog was
Yeah.
getting all the legendaries and epics. And I know you guys they banned his account, but they allowed him to make a new one. So
Mhm.
yeah.
So I just wanted to say about the tiers. It was
Yes.
very freeing getting to the 2x tier.
Oh yeah.
You know, I didn't feel like I had to spend so much time calculating stuff. Just just had to worry about where do I want to try to take a mayorship next, and how else can I earn Atlas bucks? And thanks Manning for making so many different ways. But yeah, I mean, if I mean a lot of people, in this economy, a lot of people can't shake the money out of the tree to do it, but $6,000 in about a month or two at a time in the Explorers Club, you're gonna get far enough along to where 2x is gonna get you the best deal, and you're not gonna get a better deal investing it in a savings account.
Yeah.
As long as the game stays, as long as the game stays up and running for a few years.
I'm gonna go through the chat as well because I have a line of chat I gotta get through. Lugia level 138 at 150, 31 badges becomes the mathematically correct play. If at 31 already, it's just a matter of saving Atlas bucks. So for me, I prefer it based on how often you travel. But when I checked, I thought 101 badges was the mathematically correct play before tier jumping. But that's just me. How are mayorship costs inflating over time? In North Carolina, they went from cheap to very expensive, and we have one person to thank for that. I am looking at my
Resemble
top.
that remark.
Yeah. We got one person to thank for that. And in Texas, they also went from cheap to expensive, and we have one person to thank for that.
Oh, I thought they were all really low. That's why.
You just look at the entire Northeast and go, "Oh my
Hey.
God, what just happened?"
You know,
I mean, governorship of West Virginia was less than 2,000 before I took it, and it's over 9,000 now. It's insane.
Wow.
it is an interesting conversation. We'll talk about states, and I think someone on the Discord server had even shared that the descending order list of states that is by the highest number of parcels held in the first position for governorship that was, and it doesn't align with population whatsoever. I think California is somewhere like number 20 or something like that right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had a list
California.
actually.
I mean, I live here, and I mean, all you big guys have all competing with each other in just a very small sliver of the geography, right?
Well, New York and Pennsylvania are up in the top 5 of state population.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not; those aren't bad states to fight over.
Yeah. No, I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying, like, but it's the attrition is high. Right? It's a war of attrition between you guys. I mean, it's fun to watch, but California,
West Virginia was just insane. It was just I didn't even want to do that. So I just thought he would leave me alone.
I had a list somewhere of the cheapest states by parcel to population, but I don't know where I put it. But I think it was, I think the cheapest one, I believe, was Kansas now. I could be wrong on that one, based on population. I could be wrong, though. I have to double check. North Carolina was in the top 5 and then fell real fast once Maximus came here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, yeah, you saw what I saw.
Yeah.
Like, this is a good place to be.
North Carolina is, well, it's weird how North Carolina, like minigame wise, was the Thunderdome. It's also a good place. We have a lot of Atlas Earth players here. I don't know where we are as far as like audiences. Manning would probably have a better idea in state wise. I don't know, but I would think North Carolina is up there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever looked at it that way.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of interesting things. I would say one of the savviest moves was the King of Queens taking Texas. I think that was relatively cheap.
Yeah.
It was a good move.
Yeah, it was a good move.
Yeah.
It was a good move if you were spending.
I saw
on
that
it.
when I was out there. I saw that when I drove out to Texas before I took North Carolina, and I saw that, and I'm like, wow. But I didn't have the Atlas Bucks to do it then. I didn't buy the 100K pack till after I came back.
Yeah.
Well, you also had Shaman in the backyard, and
Yeah.
you know, he was
starting.
constantly stepping on you.
He was.
which I'm not happy about. I know a lot of people were very upset about that, you know, but it's hate, you know, hate the game, don't hate the player, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, I try not to get too upset about that, because no matter what, I mean, and I think everybody needs to hear this, you know, because some people get really frustrated and mad at other people. I got frustrated too, but I realized no matter how many mayorships or governorships somebody takes from me, they can't change the amount of money I'm making in the game. They can just change how fast I get Atlas Bucks from those places. And in all honesty, it shouldn't be that big of a deal.
Well, people
It's a game.
People love the titles though.
They do.
Yeah,
but
they love those titles.
I went after the presidency because I knew financially it was a good move as far as earning Atlas Bucks goes.
Yeah, it is. I was a little surprised at a little bit less than I thought it would be. So the return percentage is a little bit lower than I thought it would be, but overall, yeah, it is the best where you can get the best returns, especially the U.S.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to maximize yield from that, I see it as equally as important. I mean, yeah, you have your rent that you're constantly earning, and yes, you have the 50x events, which are great, but I see equal importance in being strategic and trying to understand where you think you're going to get the benefit of badge income that is with other kind of titles. My whole position's always been I'm not actually totally convinced I would need to go for the presidency on this. Just play the game. You know, just figure out where your strategic markets are.
Yeah.
And you'll see the benefit from it. I don't know why certain unknown to other players have decided that the presidency is absolutely everything they have to have or nothing. You know, so it's a matter of having a plan or having strategy behind it. You know.
Yeah, that's why I keep telling people, like, look at me. You know, I spent outside of Explorers Club. I don't put money on parcel packages. I have spent like 600 in this game total, 650 roughly, if you count the Explorers Club. Which again, the subscription, you know, a lot of that I'm getting back now and then some. But like I prefer making money myself to a presidency. Sorry, no offense to Maximus or the King of Queens here, who are fighting for presidency and trying to get their impartial and getting a return. But like, I prefer kind of trying. I have a plan. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I'm planning to break even in 2025.
Nice.
Yeah. So early 2025.
Yeah. And there's many ways to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't make sense, and I mean I guess for reasons of defending, you know, your ground and your title, I guess, you know, it can make sense to kind of double down, if you will. I mean that's why I think even in kind of my home market, I mean Queens, I value Queens. I think it's one of the top titles that is in the probably globally at this point, but it doesn't make sense to put down 10,000 and you know, a random township somewhere. No names here, but like, you know, I wonder. I mean, I see it, and it's I get it. Okay, I mean, if it's for the sake of the presidency, that's one thing. But it's like, why not, you know, save those Atlas Bucks and, you know, distribute that more strategically. You know.
Yeah. Oh, I could have very easily put many thousands in my home county when I was trying to overtake Stealth, and when I was fighting with Shaman trying to stay ahead of him. But I went out and I followed some highways, and I made purchases along those highways so that I could leave my home or my place of work and I could go in any direction and I would be placing meaningful parcels somewhere that could support or get me a new mayorship. And so that when I caught Stealth, kind of felt like I caught him kind of flat-footed for some reason. I don't know why, but he was stuck in South Dakota. He was just buying in South Dakota. I was like, that's probably not where he wanted to buy.
Yep. We all saw that. We were all expecting him to do something. And then, of course, there was the great profile Avatar change. And that was really just to throw us off, I think. You know.
Are you surprised that he hasn't done more?
No, I mean, my theory was that he had already exceeded the 1 year period or so that he probably set for himself, where he decided he wasn't going to buy any more packs. And so everything at this point that he does now has to be earned organically. And he needs to make ROI. I mean, if he goes back into this now and reclaims presidency, and number one, he's in a bunch of states that are really, probably low badge income, low population centers, no offense. It looked like, yes, like I think in the beginning, everybody thought, oh, gee, like Stealth has this, Stealth was super aggressive and ambitious. I'm like, great, you took over the Great Plains. I mean, and you have all the states there. Yeah. He should have really gone, I think, around the rest of the country or so. Like, and I think Max was able to catch up with him pretty quickly for that reason. It's just that Stealth wasn't the all-to-end, the biggest player that is to look out for in the end.
Yeah, that was...
well, he got some good cities in the process. Yeah. And he still has those cities. So...
That's true. I mean, he's still Chicago, which is kind of a surprise. Minneapolis, Madison... So
yeah, I have a lot to go through here. King of Queen, Pigbot says, King of Queens, why do you not boost? We're going back like 15, 20 minutes here.
Boost. I'm boosting all the time.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
I have a significant other that probably doesn't like that right now.
For those of you that are wondering, that is my screen. That is not any of theirs. I'm at 1,388 parcels, max value. Big what's up by Benz to Max and King of Queens.
Hello back
from Benz. Oh geez, and that is a motorcycle. I've been trying to dodge the motorcycles by turning on and off my microphone when I can, and that one I just could not dodge. Mark Cuban was here. Hey, Mark Cuban.
Hey, Mark.
Why are there so many? Why are there so many fake game ads out there? I don't know. Okay, so here we go. Now we're down to the top of the current screen. 101 was correct for 32 hours of super rent boost a month. That change was 64 hours. Numbers from Tasty Wallet. Yeah, Tasty Wallet told me that. But here's the thing, and this goes back to, and I think part of the reason why I said that my strategy, I still use the max badges, Lugia, is because of this. As Manning said, there are going to be some people that want to play the game a particular way. And I'm aware that not everyone is going to be able to travel regularly. 101 badges is a lot of badges. I don't think you guys realize like how far you have to travel for 101 badges. All right. Like that's almost like that is like half the state of North Carolina you'd have to get through. And going through all, not just the interstates or the U.S. routes, but like all those little small town backwoods roads as well in half the state. All right. That is insane. So like if you go out travel, if you go do a road trip, do the badges. If you don't, do the parcels. That's my opinion on that one. That sound fair?
Some states are better than others in that though. I mean, I keep on banging the drum for Pennsylvania because where you have a county in North Carolina, you have a county and 7 townships in Pennsylvania. Yeah. And there's other states like that too that they got it divvied up pretty well. If you just go down the interstate, you can hit a bunch.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Max, the game design is the game design is what limits, I think, a lot of people. I feel bad what's their name out in Iowa? I know she's trying to get as many badges as she can, and it's just a ton of travel to be able to cover the distances. It's the administrative distances. But I'll put this out here, and you guys will be shocked. I mean, I was able to get the 101 badges within the first 2 weeks of me on the platform here. I traveled less than 50 miles.
Really?
And the whole secret to it, absolutely. the whole
You're in the
secret code of
boroughs,
the
though.
yeah, exactly. I mean, take a flight out to New York. Happy to see everybody out here, but you just go out to like Long Island, go out to like Westchester. There's tons of badges. It's all small, tiny communities, and they all have their own little badges there.
Oh.
And everybody can see that on the map now too. It's
Now do it in Nevada.
DC region, same thing. DC region, same thing. They're all over the place.
Now do it in Nevada. 13 counties.
Maybe
Seventh
go down
largest
to the
state.
Virgin Islands.
Oh yeah, oh geez. Oh wow. Is it even possible to
Was there
11?
6 down there?
Can you get to 11 in the Virgin Islands? I'm not sure.
Not sure. We've heard Coit talking about that a lot.
Yeah,
He had to go to Puerto Rico to get some more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's an island, guys.
Yeah.
Like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Like,
So let's see. Any chance of their laser flip? Any chance there ever being like a State of the Union for Atlas Earth? Isn't that technically what Derek does on the YouTube videos?
I mean, I think if I'm reading Laser Flip or like interpreting what he's asking, he's actually talking about like financial health.
Ah, okay.
I think that's what he's saying.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
if that's what he's saying, we're a private company, so
Yeah.
clearly we don't disclose that. I'll leave you with 3 quick things. Number 1, we are 3x year over year from December of 23 to December of 24 in daily active users.
Ooh.
We are more than 3x year over year in revenue, and we are a cash flow positive company. So I'll just leave it at that.
Well, there you go.
You've told us before that
Yeah.
you have money set aside to cover the rent that we earn, right?
Yeah, yes. We track all of the unredeemed virtual rent as a liability on our balance sheet. We reserve for that liability if every single virtual rent balance over $5, because that's the minimum redeemable threshold, were redeemed today, we would open for business tomorrow comfortably.
There you go.
Yeah. This is the reason why I got more comfortable with you for the long term. Being not having debt, having money set aside, your fiscal responsibility really attracted me too.
Yeah. And our biggest expense is marketing. So which is all 99% new customer acquisition, because you've got to keep growing the player base, just because of the retention curves of just games are relatively short. It's not a financial relationship that you have for 20 years. And so you got to keep like filling the bucket. And just then the question is like, what's the return on the money that you put on how you fill the bucket? How fast does it pay back? And is it good value? And we're pretty good at that. And we're really disciplined about, we look at cash flow every single day. Like we're very financially disciplined. And so that's why that's why boost tiers are the way they are. That's why we think about the badge tiers in the way we do. That's why we give lower payouts internationally than we give domestically, because of the economics of the game and the sustainability of this thing, and what Maximus is talking about. We are very fiscally responsible, and so that's the state of the union.
Well, let me ask a question then along these lines, because you were saying you're 3x from last year to this year, but we all know you've been expanding the base of the game because of geography as well as because of advertising here in the U.S. So does it break down? How's that break down between new U.S. users versus the international community?
No, it's a good question. So if you look at just the last monthly cohort or customers that joined the game in the last 30 days, that number is still predominantly US based, but it's now getting to kind of more of a 60-40 split on new US players versus international players. And over time, that will continue to shift more internationally. It's not that we have capped out on growth in the US. We're still growing fairly decently within the US. And as we add more monetization options, so things like, this year adding, all of these extra earning opportunities like arcade surveys, challenges, those are all monetization friendly activities that improve returns and that allows us to actually invest more in customer acquisition. So it's a very virtuous cycle when we improve monetization in the existing game against the existing player, because it allows us to go a little bit deeper in our targeting. And so that is the very kind of positive thing that's happened and changed this. So it's not just, hey, we're growing and we're flat in the US and we added international markets. International markets surely has helped us. But it really just gives us kind of insight and signal to how much further we can go with actually really growing the game. And I would say we have a lot more confidence in that after having the year that we've had and the success we've had both domestically and internationally on continuing to be able to grow and invest deeper.
I'm just going through all the chats and stuff.
Long answer, sorry.
No, it's fine. That was just a sudden stop. I was like, everything okay? What are the signs a game is a Ponzi? I don't want to get to that today. Okay, different tiers for over 101 badges. We talked about that in the interview, Sipe. Shaman places parcels inefficiently and didn't take many big cities. He also has a terrible distribution rate, worse than mine. Max and King, are either of you in a business that requires travel, or do you travel mostly for the game?
I have a lot of family everywhere. So Texas was all about family for me. And, was going from aunt and uncle to my brother to other people. And so, yeah, that's my logic behind where I go.
For me, Pennsylvania was a combination of work, personal. I got family up there. But mostly I pick the areas I go because I don't really like to fly. I can, but I much prefer to drive places. So, that's why I'm not going across the country to California, for example.
Utah divvies small towns into badges nicely as well. 60 won't be easy for me. Awesome, Lugia. Manning, I'm also curious, will non-US players also see 10 challenge tasks at a time eventually? Oh, non-US players are only 9, right?
Yeah, just because the way it works is, the challenge system is agnostic to country.
Right.
And then in the apps themselves, because we don't want to ask a player to do a challenge that they literally can't do, like AMP overseas. So we just basically suppress it. So it still is technically there in the backend system. It's just not displayed to the player internationally. So one of the things that we are going to do to the challenge system is to be able to set international challenges and US challenges differently because of this AMP situation. And also there were certain tasks and thresholds that especially in the first month, they were just too high for a country where maybe they just haven't been playing the game long enough, hadn't built up enough virtual rent. And so therefore some of the tasks that we had were not necessarily realistic enough for players in a country that we were relatively immature in. So those two situations not force us, but justify us to have a variant that is geared towards the international markets. So yes, it's coming. I won't say when, but we're working on it.
All right. Any thoughts on, I guess, non-specific gaming also mentioned at a question kind of in the same relation here. Any thoughts on balancing the game for non-US based players? But I think we've gone through this several times now, and a lot of it comes down to advertising revenue, right?
Well, I mean, my only pushback to that is it is balanced. To the reason why there's different payouts and different boosters is because the game is balanced. I think what a lot of international players ask us to do is basically to have the U.S. subsidize you, and we're just saying no. Like, it is balanced. We're gonna construct it to the economy and the market of that particular country. And that's actually the fairest way in which to do it. I know if you're in a country that's that doesn't work to your advantage, that feels unfair. But actually, I mean, the solution that you're asking for is to ask all U.S. players to subsidize you, and I think that's equally unfair. And we're capitalists, not socialists, and so we're going to work within the economies in which we work in.
Yeah. But by the way, I was still going back to a roundtable when I mentioned that I was a little surprised about Japan being so not very vibrant with advertising, because they actually put the names of companies on the baseball teams. Remember I mentioned that? Yeah, I have a couple.
Yeah.
I finally figured out the examples of them now. I got
Oh, yeah?
3 of them here. The Tokyo Yakult Swallows. That's a baseball team. The Yokohama D-Na Bay Stars. D-Na is the company that makes Pokemon TCG Pocket, by the way. And Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. The Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Those 4 are the ones that stood out the most in as baseball teams at the NPB. You see, they actually put the SoftBank and Rakuten and Dina into the actual uniforms. So I'm just surprised with that kind of advertising that they have so vibrantly that you guys had low revenue for Japan and Korea. That was, I don't know, it just kind of blows my mind a little bit. But hey, you guys did the research. I trust you on that one.
Yeah, and listen, we will rebalance if things, when we go to market, are out of whack.
Yeah.
But we have a tendency to be conservative, so that if we rebalance, that will be to the positive and not to the negative. We never want to devalue.
Yeah. So I just mentioned that. I want to mention the teams mostly.
Yeah.
I think you get a kick out of that. I wanted to do that for the video, but I was like, okay, I know Yakult had sponsored Tokyo's team, but what was their mascot name otherwise? I know they weren't like the Tokyo Yakults or something. That would be so. Okay, we got. Will challenges change, or will they be the same every month? I think we talked about that in a roundtable too. That they'll be based on month to month, right? Yeah.
I was going to add something on that. I'm struggling with the challenges, to be honest. I thought I would be able to get to the legendary part to it, but it's tough. I thought the badges were super easy for me to get just because of the geolocation here, but yeah, I mean, the challenges have been really tough getting through that.
Yeah. Do you think is it the time gating and the events blocking? Is that the struggle?
I mean, I'm a little bit more partial to some of the challenges. Like, I don't like the surveys. I just don't like the surveys, period. But there's the other things like AMP. I mean, AMP is fairly easy to get the minimums on. I miss out on the mini games a lot just because of work and time, and it's a little bit tough when I've tried it on the subway or on the rail system here, and it's just like it's so spotty, and then you lose. You need to have good Wi-Fi access for that. But
For me, I got stuck on the surveys at the end of the month. I had a day and a half to do 20 surveys, and I got to 15, and it ran out. I mean, I was screening out on so many of them, but I did get 15 done. So then I had to spend a little bit of money to get the last task done. I did get the badge and the LPU though, and I'm on track. Well, this month is better.
Yeah, we dialed it back a little bit, tried to get more. I mean, listen, our goal is to drive engagement, and is also we want as many people as possible to get to the end. So this was our second iteration of it. If I looked at the data as I looked at it this morning, there's more people that are succeeding, which is good, and we'll make some additional kind of reconfigurations and tweaks for January, and each month is a learning experience for us too, so that we can, the goal is to drive engagement, to have that engagement sustained through the month, which is why we use events to time gate things. I know that frustrates some folks, but that's intentional. And then get as many people at the end of the month to actually achieve either the badge for the free side or the LPU for the paid side.
For me, it's all been just I've been bottlenecked by the mini games. That's pretty much what I've been at in this month, but that's fine. I'm pretty sure I should make it to the LPU by the end of the year. I'm pretty sure anyway. I'm getting close. I think that looks like about a little more than 1,500 points right now.
Mhm.
So I should get there. I think, especially since I have 2,500 Atlas bucks waiting for the next purchase partials. I forgot how many points level 4 purchase partials is, but I know it's quite a bit. So,
and shout out to our friends on Discord for tracking those challenges for
Yeah.
us. I know Annalise and CC did a lot of work on that, and
yeah,
I don't remember the other people's names, but that list is out there for people to see.
Oh
Yeah, they do a great job. I mean, I try not to. I sometimes will confirm some things for them, but I think for us, letting the community discover it is also part of the fun of the game, and so that was a learning for us too.
Manning, that's definitely one of the kind of the stickier aspects here. I had no idea that this whole community was around, until I got further into the game. And I was obviously you invited me here with the whale group on Discord. I didn't even know about. I'm brand new to this Discord. I'm still figuring it out myself.
Yeah.
But no, it's awesome. Really awesome camaraderie, and everyone kind of looking out for one another here. So I think Shaman's missing out on that, I'll be honest. But
and Stealth too.
What's that?
Stealth too.
I keep trying.
It's what I find myself doing in between my 20-minute Atlas Buck free video watching activity. I just go look at Discord, see what crazy people are talking about now.
yeah. We'll City
And
Bat.
no, Ultra is not cheating.
We'll see. Yeah, I actually in Racer I beat him twice on Thursday. So I know he wasn't the best in Racer to begin with, but like he's just very good. Rainbow Ultra is very good at minigames. It's just he is beatable. I have beaten him. I've beaten him live before. I've beaten him on golf, which is both of our best games. I just don't understand why people are that way with him. Like he's just good at it, guys. That's all it is. Like I'm glad I don't get the same hate. That's all I'll say.
Mr. Everything was getting the same hate when he was winning every single minigame, every game. So
he's even easier.
it's just people that are envious and jealous of the income that he's getting.
Yeah, and all this for I don't know, all this for just like a couple dollars worth overall in value. You'd think like a couple, like it's not even like life-changing money. This is just side income, guys. Seriously.
Yeah, well, I mean, the perspective we take on all of this, sometimes call it tension.
Yeah.
This is just passion. And if you're a company and you have a product that people have this amount of passion for, both positively and negatively, like it's not a terrible thing. Obviously, it can go to very bad places, and so you want to channel that as well as you can. But in the heat of like competition and moments, like people sometimes just aren't at their best, and it's just a reality of life. But Sami and I talk about this a lot, because like one of the most negative things we get in the game is, can we turn off the feed, or why can't I turn off the feed, or I mean, that's probably the most consistent piece of negative criticism we get, and every time someone tells us to do that, like it reaffirms our decision to not do it, but because that means it's working, which means it gets your attention, and it's so that passion, even if that particular passion mostly is negative. I mean, very rarely do we get commentary that, oh, I love the feed, give us more. But but that passion is very confirmatory around the health of the business and health of the game itself.
I want to add on here that Shane asked me this question on last year's Q&A. You're all going to have to answer it this year. Ready? How do you eat your Oreos? Who wants to go first?
Well, I'm a health nut. I don't eat Oreos, so
Okay.
that's an easy answer.
All right, there you go.
I prefer soft cookies, but when I eat Oreos, I eat them whole.
Yeah, I'm like Count Maximus. It is definitely not even the top 10 of cookies that I would choose to eat. But if I ate an Oreo, I would eat it whole, and I definitely wouldn't want that double stuff bullshit.
Oh, you don't. Okay,
No.
so I'm.
I like the ratio.
This is where we diverge.
The chocolate to cream ratio is perfect. Like, why do you need to mess with that?
Okay, so you don't know about Oreo Thins. So like Oreo Thins is kind of where they have less filling on.
Yeah, like again, like why? Like no.
Okay, so so you even the other way too.
It's like perfectly designed.
People love the stuff. I that's the weird thing. I actually am the same way. I actually prefer the regular Oreos the best. I didn't quite understand. Like I do stack up. I do stack up and put like all the filling in one and do like almost like a double stuff. But like but I like to eat sometimes the cookies as they are too. The issue is like I don't understand why people like the filling so much that they did like quadruple stuffed Oreos. like it gets to a point where there's just too much stuffing on an Oreo and it stops tasting good.
Now, I used to break mine apart like what you're talking about and double stuff them, and then I'd have all these extra cookies left over. But that's real good for smashing up and putting on something, a milkshake or something,
Yeah.
Or make a pie crust, yeah.
Or cookies and cream.
Yep.
Cookies and cream ice cream is also really good with that. Okay, I like non-specific gaming. I like the explanation on why you feel the game is balanced. However, it still feels difficult to compete against US-based players who come by land where I am. Very demotivating. Do you think that will have a negative effect on the game long term? Long term, I personally... Okay, I'm going to say before Manning answers, I personally think that is actually going to be less of an issue long term because you are going to see more players outside the US take part, and they will probably take those countries from Rainbow Ultra, for example. Which, yes, John, I see your comment as well. So,
yeah, I think those are short-term temporal issues. Because Rainbow, we went into Canada, Mexico, and the UK because like the game is so fresh there that like people hadn't figured it out, and he could just come jump a bunch of AB and do some colonialism. But like over time, he's going to lose all the titles, and
he's not going to be able to keep that up.
That's really tough to defend. I'm with you there, Manny.
Yeah, I just think like the system kind of takes care of itself.
I think Rainbow Ultra will keep the presidency of one country, but he's going to have to choose. The rest of them will probably be taken from him, I think, eventually. But that's my prediction.
It's funny nobody's gone after Arkansas really strongly. I guess they're pretty much clued into him being in other countries like that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's Arkansas. Oh, Arkansas was the second cheapest. That's what it was. I was a little surprised about that, but I know it's because Rainbow Ultra buys everywhere else.
Yeah. I mean, if he stopped paying attention in foreign countries, he could probably pump that up to 3,000 very quickly.
Just a curiosity question: as a software developer, Frosty Frisbee, what are the delays between the minigame ending? What are the delays between the minigame ending and payouts? Do you guys have manual processes for payouts? He does, or do you check the results for cheating?
This is funny because I got all pissy last week about someone pugging me while I was having dinner. But it's manual. I mean, it's not manual as in like I'm running a spreadsheet. Like we have a system. We like to especially now that the payouts are quite large, we actually just have an audit process which is 99% of the time now me looking at it and making sure everything looks right. And then I hit a button in our system that says payout. And so I try to do it as fast as possible, but sometimes
you got cut off again.
oh sorry. I don't know where you lost me, um so there's an audit process. I look at it just to make sure everything makes sense. And then I hit a button that hits payout that then like triggers the in-app notification that everyone gets. So, and that happens in every country. So when I run payouts, I run it for 13. Now I try to, New Zealand and Australia happen while I'm sleeping. So I'll wake up in the morning and there was a mini game that night before. I will process New Zealand and Australia right away. They wait longer than anybody. Usually in the middle of the day, Europe gets taken care of, those mini games run, and then I pay out. And then usually after I eat dinner, I look and do the payouts for Canada, US, and Mexico. Sometimes I have social things that make that happen a little bit later, but we try to do it as quickly as possible. I don't know if we're ever going to automate it because we like the audit check because there's just so many AB. And the worst thing we want to do is pull AB back from players because we didn't tabulate anything correctly. So it's just an audit and a control thing that we have. At some point, maybe we'll have something more sophisticated, but we've got an aggressive roadmap next year, and just improving Manning's experience is not necessarily worth devoting developer energy towards. It's fine. I've got no complaints about it.
There's actually a video on the Beer Money Network where you actually showed us what you do.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I can probably if AJ is here, Beer Money Network, if you wanna put the link out, AJ, it was a couple months back. It was right after the first interview.
I think I ran it, but like what I didn't show you was like the audits part of it, but I showed you the execution part of the payout. Yes.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, that part where you just click a button and there you go. All the payouts came in within like 5 minutes. So
we just need to clone Manning so he can have a second shift.
Let's see. We got a bunch of old Oreo questions. I'll leave that as is. Do minigames bring in any revenue directly to the company? From Tyler the Flame.
Yes.
All right, simple as that. Ask Max, Peter Township when? I guess Maximus, are you planning on taking Peter Township?
Well, not the one he's thinking of, but I did find another Peters Township that's pretty cheap. Just thought maybe as a little dig for Shaman, maybe I'll play with him a little bit and go up there and buy that one for about 100 parcels one day when he's watching. Give him a little, skip his heart a little bit,
Scare the shit out of him.
Let's see. We got I think Rainbow. Okay, Ben says I think Rainbow Ultra will end as the U.S. president, and he's just coasting right now, just waiting. Well, I don't think that he wants to be U.S. president. I think he wanted the other presidency so that he could get some of the badge income coming in for that country. And I'm pretty sure he got a decent amount for his badge income. And I would like to interview him, but I think he kind of prefers to not really be. He doesn't. You know what? I'll talk with him. Let me talk with him again. It's been a little while. Maybe he might want to come in for an interview. We could probably talk about like his minigame stuff, his own stuff as well, because he's outside of the big four on Atlas Earth, which are you two, Max and King of Queens, Shaman and Stealth. I would say he's probably number 5 or 6 between him and Open Boosters for people who get talked about a lot. I guess Open Boosters isn't going to talk about that as much anymore, but he has a YouTube channel that's like 10 times mine. So,
well, the problem with Rainbow Ultra is that it'd be almost like starting over for him to try to become U.S. president at this point.
I have no idea why he would want to try.
Yeah, he's only got like 1,500, 1,600 parcels in the U.S.
Right.
All the other 14,000 plus are outside the U.S. So, becoming the global leader might be an awesome goal, especially if you start giving us badges for that, Manning.
I'm gonna go to Tonic Videos here. Bit of a stretch, but King of Queens, do you ever see yourself being president?
Yeah, I'm playing the long game here. I will be the president of the platform eventually.
Okay, so
Pretty
you'll be the eighth president of Atlas. I think it's eighth. AG and I still have an argument over because I thought Artorias was president once. I'm pretty sure he was president.
Yeah, I think somebody said he was president for a few hours.
Yeah, for a few hours. So you're not the shortest. You're not the shortest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the question becomes, does it count if you don't get payout?
Yeah, I think you have to get payout, right?
Did he get payout though? I thought he got payout one day.
I don't know. I probably could look it up, but
I count the presidencies as if you were president at any one time. That's why I'm trying to find the ones before Atlas Master. Like I don't know if there's anyone before Atlas Master that got the presidency. I would like to know, but he's the first kind of recognized president, and then was Open Boosters, and then we had Artorias, Stealth G605. There was another person, but he was cheating. Stealth G605, then Count Maximus, and we're currently on the 6th one right now. So I'm sorry, you'd be the 7th with Shaman 15. Frosty Frisbee, will there be an Earth badge now that there's a global leaderboard? Earth badge.
Technically, there's the ability to do it. We don't have it, and we don't necessarily for the short term plan on having it, because right now it's just basically another version of the President's Bed in the US, just given the role on partial ownership that the US plays in the total game. So right now, that is not something we're currently thinking about. So we have a bunch of fun ideas about how might we do it, but it may not be the same way that all of the other leaderboards work.
All right, question.
That would kind of.
Oh, go ahead.
That would kind of make the sitting president kind of overpowered too. If everybody in the world was feeding him, I could see that being a problem.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we have to manage the way in which the international players look at the U.S. You can see it even in this chat. You know, some frustrations around that, and so I just don't know. This would do nothing more than just reinforce that sense, and we don't want, because we started in the U.S. and because we're U.S. citizens at the company, we don't want that to dominate the way in which we think about like advantaging anybody in the game either.
Mm-hmm.
Hey AJ, did you want to get on the stream? I keep seeing you on the chat. I wanted to add him on the stream, but he's on the chat right now. If you want to get on stream, man, I'll add you. He did confirm Atlas Master was the first president of Atlas Earth. So,
Cool.
yeah. So we're currently on the 6th one right now. So, excuse me. So that's good, and that was an upside ad there. Will there be an okay? So landmarks when we're not. Come on, Shane. Shane,
Coming soon. Coming soon.
Coming soon, like my Upland review.
I'm very excited about landmarks. I'll put it that way.
Yeah,
that's gonna be awesome.
So then the U.S. president just
or like Jesus returning.
ruler of the world with how many countries are coming. Just throwing out an idea. Yeah, we already talked about that. Without the feeding Atlas bucks. I mean, would you do an Earth badge, but just they wouldn't get Atlas bucks for it, or they would get a reduced amount of Atlas bucks?
I mean, listen, we're happy to sell a badge and keep all the income, but we want something more than that.
I mean, why not keep the income? I mean, that'd be fine. I feel like this is one of the few games where people actually do give like some ideas to help you guys actually make more money. Others are like try to take money from the company. You guys have like it's actually kind of nice. Walking around outside. Okay, AJ, no problem. Do certain locations generate higher value parcels, or is it all random?
Railroad tracks. Just go buy on railroad tracks. That's a joke. All random.
I've heard people say churches are really good. I've heard people say buying a checkerboard pattern. After buying 67,000 parcels, I
It's
came
cool.
up with exactly 5% as legendary, and I was buying in all those different places. I never did the checkerboard pattern. I think it's completely random, dude.
I have been so unlucky. I'm at like the 2% second percentile right now. I have like 4.2% legendaries right now. I am terribly unlucky. This is why I don't go to casinos, by the way.
Let's start buying in checkerboard patterns in local churches, then, dude.
I tried
Maybe
tried
you'll
the
get, like-
battleship method, and the battleship method worked for a little bit, and then it stopped working. You guys remember the battleship method?
What?
Okay. Okay. Once you hit a parcel and it's an epic, just start getting all the parcels around it. Otherwise, go to a completely different place. It's like Battleship.
Yep.
It's like the game Battleship.
Yeah.
G4.
I
That's a
went
miss.
to somebody's checkerboard pattern. They happened to be in the location I was going to fill in, and I filled in all the empty spots, and I was doing really well there. So it certainly didn't work for them.
Mars badge when? I'm not going to have him answer that question. Atlas Earth opening and Mars when? Question: can I buy Atlas Bucks with gift cards through the website? Yeah. Can you buy Atlas Bucks with gift cards through the website, or is it just credit
Maybe.
debit?
I don't. To be honest, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was. I think if you have a Visa gift card, they treat that like a
Yeah.
credit card, so you should be.
Yeah,
able to.
I mean, it's because we just run this through Stripe. We don't have any like special configuration on the payment side of things. So, some bins, which are the first four digits of the card, if it's a Visa Mastercard, some of those bins do get blocked on some payment processors. I just don't know. This is not. I wouldn't say we've gotten a bunch of feedback on this one, so that's why I say I don't know. But give it a shot. If it works, let us know. We can add an FAQ around that.
A Frosty Frisbee, is the rarity decided randomly upon purchase, or does each plot have a preset rarity that was randomly selected when the game released in that country that's only revealed upon purchase?
The rarity assignment happens at the point of purchase. So, for example, if when a player gets banned, their own parcels get put back into inventory automatically, and if that parcel gets repurchased by somebody else, it may not have the same rarity because the rarity kind of gets forgotten once you release a parcel back into the system for availability.
All right. Bought 805 parcels and can tell you with a confidence, basically roll the dice. You have 15% legendaries. Whoa.
Good God.
That's not.
What's your makeup?
Dice.
No, yeah. What is your makeup? I gotta look at this. Saint, give me your common, rare, epic, legendary. I'll put it to the calculator. I gotta see this. I seriously gotta see this. Unless you bought LPUs or something. If you bought LPUs, then I understand. But how many active players does Atlas Earth have? Drixie.
Oh, so he's
sell the basics.
Yeah, so he's offloading his comments.
Oh, you can. Oh, you actually managed to get your comments
So
sold?
it's not random.
Okay. How much did you sell them for? That's crazy. Let me know. I'll go buy some parcels down in Charlotte, Uptown and South End, and I'll start selling them. I'll start selling for like $200 a pop.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine why somebody would want to spend 150 for a common.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like I mean, if 100,
I would just be careful.
Unless you're putting them on somebody's.
Yeah.
Unless you're putting them on somebody's house, and they're like, "How dare you?"
Yeah. I just would be careful with that.
Oh yeah, but selling. Okay. Well, I'll
I mean,
just
just would
I'll
be
start
careful.
with one.
I mean, just be careful, like selling parcels to maybe somebody
Gotcha.
at something below market, and you know, because it's not about the sell. It's selling a common. And listen, if you can get a common sold for 150, you know, go do it all day long. But like, who's really buying that to Maximus's point? But it's really more like, well, then what are you buying the legendaries for? Or if you're just playing the averages on legendaries, man, you'd have to sell a lot of commons to move 1,000 basis points of rarity mix. So just
All
a thing
right.
to look
Gotcha.
at.
Will moving legendary parcel units become a thing? I'd love to see my alien skin if I move one day. And if this does become a feature, will it extend to normal parcels as well?
So I would say moving an LPU is something that you'll eventually be able to do. I would say moving a whole bunch of like parcels in mass. It's been a feature that's been requested a bunch of different times. I think people call it the bulldozer. I don't see us
Please
doing
God.
it. I don't see us doing that.
Well,
Well, that's not a hard no, but I'm just like it's hard to wrap our head around to say like who is this for
because you
and
have
how
so
does it
many squares to begin with in the United
how does it
States.
really improve gameplay? And so like it just I would say right now it doesn't strike us as a thing we need to go do.
Yeah, that I wouldn't mind.
Or
Well, would be make it interesting. I mean, for just a quick second, like, you know, to be able to sell certain properties in bulk, like if there was, if, you know, if let's just say I wanted to give up
Selling
kinetic,
is a different thing. Yes, no, selling. You're right, King of Kings. Like selling in as part of auctions.
yeah,
Yes, agree. A block of parcels, a chunk of parcels. Yes, but like to say, hey, I want to take these, you know, a block of like 200 parcels that I own in Queens, and I want to move it to South Jersey.
oh,
Um,
like
that's
lateral transaction.
correct.
now
Like that's
that sounds like a good thing. That sounds like a good thing to do with an Explorer Club benefit, maybe just one a month or something
yeah.
through the app. You know,
Yeah. I mean, I think this is, and again, this is why this is like, oh, I'm not. It's not a hard no, but like we'd have to really think through how's this improving gameplay? Why? Who's it going to benefit? And how does this? Yeah, how does this kind of improve competition? Because really, competition is a core lens that we look through.
Instead of a bulldozer feature, so from Ben's, instead of a bulldozer feature, how about a reset feature? You just get all your Atlas Bug back for the land you place. So, like, I'm assuming, like, if you had like 1,000 parcels, you can just do a reset feature, and then you get 100,000 Atlas Bucks back or something.
To store credit.
Yeah, yeah, you know, you drive the new car off the lot. Like we're not buying it back from you after you drive it off the lot.
Would you do it for like 80% or 70% of the amount?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, it's not.
So, I mean, we'd rather have it be market driven as opposed to us doing it. So that's really kind of the unlock that comes
Gotcha.
with auctions. Yeah.
All right.
I'm
Saint, I'm still waiting on your rarity count. I gotta see this. Seriously. Give me your makeup.
I'm just sitting here trying to imagine Manning hitting reset on my account and me getting all those Atlas bucks back and having to drop 68,000 parcels again. I think I would rather chew on some nails.
But Max, I think there's
Yeah,
something
no.
to also learning the platform as you go. It's like, I mean, at what point do you realize that maybe 10,000 parcels in Peters Township maybe wasn't the best idea? But what happens if suddenly that feature is given and all of a sudden the 10,000 parcels are placed, I don't know, in a town in North Carolina or whatever, you know?
Yeah, I would not like that at all.
Yeah, I think all of this trial and error and discovery that you guys have been through on your journeys this year You know, I'm sure Shaman would have a bunch and Stealth would have a bunch too. Like, not that you're pulling the ladder up, but you know, people have to go through that, and I don't think, I don't think like allowing people to circumvent that journey is good for the game.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Kind of the same argument for not having a turbo mode for dropping parcels. I mean,
Mhm.
you know, they can't understand what we've gone through. You know, like King of Queens going to 5 different major cities in Texas
Yeah.
and dropping parcels every evening for 6-7 hours a night. You
Right.
know, people aren't going to understand what that's like if they don't have to do it. And it's really we could be giving them a huge unfair advantage to not go through that.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to obviously be whales like you guys and spend significant amounts of money in the game, but if you enabled it for a whale who would drop equal or more amounts of money in the game and come in 2 weeks, like just like be owned 100,000 parcels, like that doesn't feel fair at all.
Yeah,
You would start discouraging people and like, look, I like Max. I mean, I feel terrible. Like I felt like it was almost personal. You were stepped on, you know, and I think a lot of people share that sentiment. But it's like it's part of this is a time investment too. You have to plan this all out and you know go through that effort and that length. Like you were saying, Max. I mean, it was a 2-week period of time. I lost a lot of sleep. I was sick most of the time.
Yeah.
Like it sucked. But I feel like okay, I did that. Now, hey, holidays are coming up. I can come back there. You know, it's there was a reason why I wanted to do that. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I kept on waiting. I was like, man, surely he's going to get tired of putting these parcels down. Maybe I could stay ahead of him. Nope.
Let's see what we got here. Okay, I did get Saints count 415 commons, 238 rares, 112 epics, and 40 legendaries. That's not 13% Saints.
No.
That sounds more like 5, a little more than 5.
That's like
Yeah.
that's a proper mix.
Yeah. Let me get the legendary count for that one. I can go.
There's a real easy calculation for that. If you take your legendaries and multiply them by 10, and it's anywhere near what your commons are, you're about normal distribution.
Yeah, 40 divided by 805 is 4.97% legendaries. That's more than me, but yeah, that's normal.
Slightly below the average.
Yeah. Yeah, so
You might have been looking at a different column on the sheet or something.
it's fine. It's fine. Not a big deal. It's all cool. That's why I'm here. I'm here for the numbers. I know Shihan Raza, you had a question I wanted to feature as well. Which, by the way, hey buddy, how you doing? By the way, how's treasure hunting in Upland going? Let me know. He's an old treasure hunting rival of mine, way back in the day. Okay. Will the new minigame types be skill based like we are used to, or will this rock paper scissors be luck based?
I mean, you could debate on how skill required rock paper scissors is, but it's not going to be luck. I mean, you still have to win.
Like, is it going to be like you have is it gonna be like one of those where you have a bar that says like rock paper scissors and you gotta click on it to get the?
Yes. So there's going to be like a head-to-head. You're going to be matched up with somebody. You're going to do rock paper scissors, and there'll be multiple rounds. And you know, at the end of the match, whoever's won the most wins.
All right.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, we'll
I'm
see
not sure
when that comes.
Yeah. That one is. That one is actually in development now.
I'm imagining the way that the patterns have been going with Atlas Earth mini games, that it's a bar with rock, paper, and scissors, like 1/3 in each of the bar, and the timing bar goes left and right, and you click on it and you hit rock, paper, or scissors, and you try to beat the other person. You get a point if you get the one that overtakes theirs or something like that. I'm assuming, but it could be a completely luck-based game too, where you just choose rock, paper, scissors, and then you go at the same time. I don't know. But I'm just giving my my predictions here. Manning does not have to say if I'm right or wrong or not.
Well, I think what we'll do is when we have something that we think is ready, we'll run a test,
All right.
with a live production test, just because the it's hard to synthetically create all of the demand on the system outside of production for mini games, and so that is so we'll do it like as we went through a bunch of the racer testing. That thanks for all those who did that. But it led to what is now, I think, though the game has changed, and I know Tasty's not super happy with that, but the game is better for sure. That mini game, and so we'll test this one when we're ready. We'll see notifications, communication from us, and hopefully you like it.
From Ben's, what about an update to drop more than one parcel at a time? It can take hours to take cities sometimes.
We think it's going to be just fine the way it is.
All right. Yeah, I personally like. It would be very complicated to just do like blocks of parcels. I feel like the way that you guys have built the game in general, and like the entire idea is just kind of interacting one at a time. You're taking one parcel at a time. I don't know. It for me. I would not want to see that actually. I would prefer.
Yeah, we're. I mean, if you look at just the collective between you three, we're talking about this has happened well over 120,000 times.
Yeah.
Like that these people in this chat have like actually done this. Like I don't think we're looking to.
Let's see, 67 plus 58 plus 2. Yeah, about 127,000.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So. AJ reminded.
Or how about this? You pay 150.
150.
Would you pay 150 to bulk buy it?
150 for like per parcel to bulk buy.
Correct. Like a convenience premium, like something like it's the
Yeah.
only way we could look these guys in the eyes and say, "Hey, everything you just went through, you could have done it better, faster."
Yeah.
That's putting a price on turbo, basically. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll do it the hard way. Thanks.
Yeah.
You're right. No, I mean, yes. Like we would price it so irrationally that no one would do it because we don't think it needs to be done.
Yeah, I still don't think it's needed.
I don't think so. Well, the thing is that part of the game is the grind of going through the parcels. Like Maximus and King of Queens here spent several weeks going through different cities and trying to get parcels there. Shaman's gone through a couple months now of just constantly going after parcels. Let me turn the feedback on here. By the way, I just want to use that as an example to show that yes, you can just turn off the feed, but that's the entire point of the game is to do something like that. Why would you take the game aspect out of it? That I just don't understand that. Yeah. Anybody here mayors and governors of places in real life? Oh, okay, real life mayor governor. No. Although my wife wants to one day run for like city council or something. But let's see what else up here.
Life is short.
Yeah.
Want to do that? Like, geez. Let me add more stress to my life. Yes.
Talk about getting doxxed.
Yeah. God.
No, I know, don't want that. We definitely don't want that here. Let's see here. Multiple. Okay, we need to elect a mayor for the Discord. I think the mayor would currently be Count Maximus since he has the most parcels, wouldn't it? At the Atlas Earth Discord. Thanks, man.
Yeah, as far as members, yeah. I mean, Shaman poked his head in there for a minute, but he's not active.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the question is like, how would you determine like the mayorship? It may not necessarily be most parcels owned. It could be like if I were to look at it, I would be like, who is the most helpful in helping other
Yeah.
players? And we come in with like kind of like feedback and questions, or just like or like CC and that whole crew, Annalise, who like pull together kind of all of, like the challenge tracking and things like that. Like be someone like that who's actually the most helpful to the community.
Shion, thanks for the reply back as well. Yeah, I'm leaving Upland completely. January, February next year, Shion. Good luck. I wouldn't pay $150 per land, but I would buy in a subscription for it for bulk. I mean, even then, like, even as an Explorer Club feature, I wouldn't even like it because the entire point is to try to get that grind going. Like that's kind of what Atlas Earth is. Is there?
Well, it's a whale only benefit, so the number of players that'd be willing to pay for it,
Yeah.
relatively small, and by making it a new benefit, you disenfranchise all of your legacy whales. So it just like it doesn't have a lot of business logic to it.
I do have one feature, one thing that maybe not about parcel buying or so that I still think would be loved by a lot of people, not necessarily whales. But why can't we opt out of advertising? How about a permanent boost and put a price on it so that the company's also not making a loss on us exempting ourselves from it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I analyzed that actually. I just said what would be essentially the break even.
Yeah.
Where in some players you lose a little, some players you make a little, but just like what's the kind of the break even on that? And it's like $50 a month. So for you, that's probably fine. But even when I kind of polled players who I think would be willing to pay that, just given what they've spent in the game,
yeah,
it was not a slam dunk. That doesn't mean we wouldn't explore it further, but it is. I mean, clearly, like if you look at streaming networks as an analogous experience, right? Pay more to not get ads in, Netflix or Disney Plus or whatever. So there is a known behavior and a model out there, but because it works for streaming in a better way, because actually advertising is the secondary revenue source and subscription is the primary. For us, it's not. It's kind of inverted. So so you actually, to substitute it out on a revenue perspective, you got to make the price point pretty fucking high. And so that's the challenge with it. It doesn't mean we're not open to it, but it is a big part of the core game experience too, is around boosting, less around the grinding the 2 AB ads or the 1 AB ads if you're international. There's more boosting. So it's not a hard no, but it's like, hey, like it's a big number that we'd have to, from a replacement standpoint, have to like work out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just speaking for myself. I mean, I'd value that. I'd pay for that over paying for the challenges subscription, for example, which I know it's only a smaller price point, but right now I'm in this for 5 to 7 years probably. So I'm like, okay, I'd rather just have the ability to permanently boost, and then watch, 7 1.5 minute torturous video ads, but just an opinion.
Okay, laser flip.
When you asked,
no, go ahead. Sorry,
go ahead.
I'll get on the question later.
When Manning was asking us that question, King and I were on different sides of that subject because I'm totally fine with watching ads right now, but I mean, 5 years from now, I might not be fine with watching ads anymore. So, and then again, like Manning's saying, there's maybe 50 people in the game that would be willing to pay that amount. So, maybe that's more of a long-term question when you got more people making $100, $200 a month.
Yeah, I mean, All I can say is after the 500th time hearing that you can make $50 within the first 30 minutes on solitaire cash, hey, maybe I'm going to start using that. Like, can we suppress some of those things? Like, holy crap! Like, it's like terrible.
Yeah,
I'm tempted to review Solitaire Clash just to be snarky,
Yeah. I mean, it's
yeah, we don't. I mean, for us, that's a very challenging thing
I
to
know.
do, unless we ran our own mediation, which we don't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, especially AppBrain. I don't know if AppBrain has mediation. That their ads are just like, ugh.
Yeah,
There's just one.
We use
Oh, go ahead.
we use AppLovin.
Oh, AppLovin. That's what it was. AppLovin.
Yeah, we use AppLovin.
Yeah, AppLovin.
Well, I mean, listen, but then you within that you activate any number of networks that you want, and that does, and then you run a real time auction for that impression. So, and the highest bidder wins. So there's certain networks that have lower quality ads and pay lower CPMs. So it really just depends at the impression level. So we though in some cases, I think we all get a version of that ad that King of Queens is talking about. We also may see very, very different ads, and you're probably seeing different ads now because of the retail calendar and what you're seeing around Christmas. So CPMs are high right now and good because of Christmas season, but you're going to see them start to drop right after Christmas. And you'll see you can actually infer as a player what the ad CPM is based on kind of the quality of the advertiser.
Yeah, I want to also get through Retro Reviews' comments. I saw a few of them here. Atlas Earth is my favorite app. On it all day, every day. Anybody hungry? I'm delivering Taco Bell on Grubhub right now. I am not a big fan of Taco Bell, honestly.
Bring it on down here to Virginia, dude.
AJ made fun of me for being a fan of Steak and Shake during the minigame. I'm like, Steak and Shake is good.
No way.
It is. No, it is. Look. Okay. My favorite burger of all time is in Steak and Shake. The Western barbecue burger, no grilled onions. That's a really good burger, and I do like their cheese fries. It's a meal that I go to when I am feeling very down and need comfort food, basically, which has been pretty often this year, actually.
Do you have a Shake Shack near you?
Why would I pay $25 for something I can get for like $8 anywhere else, basically?
Where can you get a burger for $8, man? This is New York wants to know.
Wendy's.
Come down to North Carolina. I got to show you some places like Wendy's has combos. Steak and Shake. I paid $8.99 for the Western barbecue burger, a Steak and Shake. So that was a good one.
Just threw up in my mouth.
Yeah.
Look, all right. Look, all right.
We're getting this Q&A.
The way you all talk about Steak and Shake is like the way I talk about Burger King. For me, Burger King has always made me sick.
I think they're both equally shitty.
Like 3 a.m, you're like a fifth of vodka deep with your friends from college. Yeah, that's Steak and Shake.
But my favorite go-to place is Logan's Restaurant. They have the best rolls. The food's average, but we just use the gift cards to go buy rolls now. It's just play ads are cheesy. Just Play recently got this ad where where this guy holds another guy hostage, and the guy says, "Why are you holding me hostage for money? All you have to do is just download Just Play."
Oh my god!
Yeah, you got that one?
Yeah,
that
100 times.
Oh,
okay, Luke. Yes, In-N-Out. Yes, In-N-Out and Culver's. To me, top 2. Yeah. My favorite style of burger is Steak and Shake's Western Bacon Barbecue. But if I want the best quality burger, Culver's in the East, In-N-Out in the West. That's my for quality wise, yeah.
Damn it, you're gonna make me have to go in and out right now.
Yeah.
Pick me up
The
some
secret menu,
In-N-Out.
Manny?
It's
The
been
secret
a
menu?
decade since I've had In-N-Out burger, all right? Ever since I left Vegas.
It's been like a week.
Yeah,
for
we
me.
don't have that on the East Coast.
Yeah, we don't have it on the East Coast. They are going to open one in near Middle Tennessee State, I think. Very soon, but they don't plan on going past Tennessee. I mean, they're going to start expanding with Tennessee and then eventually go to North Carolina, but it's going to be several years before we do. My wife and I are going to Dallas in a couple years, 1 or 2 years from now, and I'm taking her to In-N-Out then. King of Queens just took over my state of Connecticut, 5,200 parcels.
That was like 3 or 4 months ago. But yeah.
Yeah.
Which is forever in this game.
Yeah.
Loogie, I do vouch for Steak and Shake. Went there a couple times when visiting Ohio. Okay, I will say Steak and Shake is also hit and miss. So, back in 2015, they're a lot better now. But the one in Duluth, Georgia, I would tell people never go to the Steak and Shake in Duluth, Georgia, in Cumming, Georgia. Pretty much anywhere in Georgia outside of the one in South Cumming is okay.
So you have like ratings on locations of steak.
Yes,
and
I
shakes.
did. I'm big on.
Oh.
Okay. They were so cheap back in the mid 2010s, and I can't cook. So if I wanted to keep my food budget to like $15 a day, that was the place to go. I mean, it was there or Burger King, and yeah, I'm gonna stick with the better one. There's AJ again. AJ.
By the way, AJ's a great guy. By the way,
Yeah, he is.
I know he's talking to me and Max as well, and we have a gentleman's agreement on Washington D.C. So
okay.
It's all safe. Yeah.
Okay.
Really great
Don't
too.
mess with DC.
Absolutely. No, we got you, AJ.
Please add Popeye's chicken to AMP. I'm biased and I love that chicken. Yeah, they have good chicken. Popeye's is good. Raising Cane's.
Yeah.
Try to get Raising Cane's to join the AMP program. That'd be, man. Slim Chickens. That's my favorite chicken place. Slim Chickens. They're small, but they're growing. If you're ever in the East Coast, Manning, Slim Chickens is really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or Bojangles. I have family in Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina.
Bojangles is really good too.
Bojangles.
I will say their oil, I might be allergic to their oil, and so I can't eat there very often. I can only have the cheddar bows and the biscuit and the country ham biscuits. Something about their oil causes me to get sick, but I mean, it tastes good. It's good food, so yeah. Will there be a global mini games event from Budget Investing?
I mean, I think we kind of talked a little bit about that.
Yeah, we did.
Earlier
We
this
talked
week.
about it on the
But
table.
I mean, will there ever be? Maybe. It's not imminent.
Yeah.
More so because of just the way in which we have associated with countries and logistics of planning that. So.
All right.
But would you guys want to do like a 24-hour Le Mans racer? Anybody want to do that?
Oh my god.
24-hour. Oh
Le
yeah.
Mans.
Oh yeah, the Le Mans. Yeah,
Yeah.
There's this board game called the 8 Hours of Le Mans, and people literally just was it 8 hours? It was like this. Is that the board game you're talking about? The 8 Hours of Le Mans?
I'm talking about actually the real race in France. But
Right. Yeah.
But no, just like imagine how many people would down for that slog.
So, is there any plans for Christmas Day for a mini game?
We do have a mini game scheduled
for Christmas Day. Let me check.
I think so. Pretty sure
Christmas Day is Wednesday, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
3 days to no, we don't. We have the 24th.
Oh, it's Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's a Wednesday. Yeah. So no, we
Okay.
no, we don't.
Okay.
We have
People need to have time with their families anyway.
Well,
yeah,
last year they did Racer, so I was just curious.
yeah. I think we're not planning on doing that. Was an experiment last year.
Okay.
So we don't have anything kind of planned, but we do have for the 26th through the 29th, we are going to have an extra third arcade boost this month at 50%. So there will be more kind of like earning opportunities between the end of the or at Christmas and the end of the year. And that's, you know, the reason why we are doing that is because you know, a lot of people are, you know, those who celebrate Christmas are going to get probably some Apple Store or Play Store and Apple kind of gift cards. And so the game publishers are willing to invest in more boosts post Christmas because people will download and potentially use those. So I would say if you want to be savvy and you're free to play, but you want to boost the rewards you get in arcade, put $5 into a game using one of those gift cards you get into the tree, and like it'll make your payouts better for arcade for a while because the algorithm's going to identify you as a pay to play player versus free to play, and it'll improve your payouts.
I will definitely add that. Will it count Google Rewards rewards money?
I don't know enough about their algorithm and how they look at it.
Okay, so
It's gonna. I mean, the Google. It basically is if it's an in-app purchase and it shows up as an in-app purchase in that publisher, that arcade publisher's game,
Mhm.
like that's gonna improve the offers that you get because other games because the model is going to say, hey, you're a person who spends, which is actually
Okay.
the most important thing, and then they're going to target you with offers to get you to spend in their game, and it doesn't mean you always have to spend, but if you strategically spend small amounts of money in arcade, it will definitely improve your overall offer kind of set.
I'm going to try that sometime actually. I will because I do have some Google Rewards money, about $15 worth I could use for this to experiment.
Yeah,
with.
and it won't happen instantaneously, but the algorithm's gonna like it's gonna reclassify you, and it is definitely very targeted.
Yeah, and for those of you that were eagerly awaiting that 24-hour Warship event on Christmas Day, I apologize to everyone. I will make it up.
That's even a better idea than Racer.
I will try to help Manning out making up here. We're gonna do a Beer Money Brew stream on Christmas Eve. We're doing bowling. We're gonna do bowling. I'm doing bowling Christmas Eve. So you guys will see that then. So I will I'll post that up for Christmas Eve, and yeah, so that way we'll take Christmas Day off, which is great because I need that day off. I've been my wife has actually taken her day off from the hospital for it, so great. Let's see here. We got a whole bunch of more questions. I'm trying to wrap things up now. We're down to we were supposed to end at 4. It's almost 4:30, so I'm gonna try to end this at 4:30. Everyone. Is there? What's that?
You guys made me hungry. It's only 1:15 here, but yeah.
You need. You know what? I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to go down to Tennessee once they open up their In-N-Out, so I can have In-N-Out for the first time in 10 years. I do think, and I know this is gonna be sacrilegious to a lot of people. Culver's is better than In-N-Out, but I still miss In-N-Out. I miss it. I miss In-N-Out. I really like their food. Triple start pots. What? I don't understand, Shihan. Snow in game on Christmas. Why would you have snow in a bowling alley? That would be interesting. Could you turn the bowling balls into snowballs?
Oh, you mean like or in the map, like add weather to the map,
Yeah.
like show like it's snowing on your parcels?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, maybe for next year. I miss Burger King on the AMP program. I miss Burger King on the AMP program. Any chance it will come back? No. Why would you want Burger King? Why would you want Burger King on the AMP program again? No. Retro.
They got real good croissant
I don't
juice.
know, there were a lot of people that were, raising hell about that on socials when Burger King dropped off of AMP.
Why?
But
Why would you?
I don't go there.
Why
I
would
don't
you
go.
want
I don't
Burger
care.
King? I don't understand this. Like,
Listen,
Well,
if
what are our other choices for food?
Yeah, I mean, I think the goal for AMP is to get as much distribution as possible. So whether it be, ideally you'd have every one of the burger places we've mentioned, and then you can just go to the place you want to go to.
yeah.
But so, right now, is Burger King going to come back in? No. But if they called us and said that we want back in and the price was right, like, yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, yeah, I understand. I just I don't know why people would be so eager for Burger King. I just.
Well, I think if you're in a town that doesn't have any options other than that, and that goes away, then that's not great, right?
Okay.
As a player.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Hey, so on the subject, my closest restaurant right now is probably Moe's Southwest Grill, and that is a very manual process, Manning, because they don't automatically pay out. Is that something you can address? Because I think it's,
You mean the more options or most technical challenges?
Well, I mean, I don't know how many companies out there have a problem with automating that process. It just seems like Moe's can't automatically do it. Whereas when I went to Burger King and bought a croissant sandwich, I mean, I had the Atlas box before I left the building.
Yeah. Well, so this gets a little bit into kind of like nerdy payment systems kind of issues, but there's a lot of factors at play because like some Moe's work beautifully and some don't. And same with Jamba Juice and same with some of the other partners. And the reason why it could literally be specifically that location and the manager of that store has not updated the POS hardware to do a firmware upgrade or something. Like it could be something as because of the extreme distribution across the payment networks and all the different entry points at the point of sale. It's likely a break there and not a break in like all Moe's. And so without going to that specific location and like troubleshooting it with that merchant, like it's really hard to say exactly what's causing that to break for you. I would say when we look at error rates, we do look at them across all of the partners. And if something's really out of whack, then we go actually work with them to try to figure it out. But I would say it happens to be probably just that location.
Cool. Well, it is what it is. Then.
Visa processes faster than MasterCard, so Visa payout will happen. Typically a couple of days faster if it's online, or a couple seconds faster if it's in a restaurant location. It just really kind of depends on the payment network, the location, and the partner itself.
Let's see here. We got a few more questions. Will the UK, and I guess will any country outside of the US, get the AMP program in the future?
Yes, it will. Not immediately, and it's not because we are not trying to solve the problem, because payments are complicated. And because the way that AMP works is once you register your Visa or MasterCard, like basically what we do is we have a window into those networks. And so we are looking for that Moe's transaction that Maximus kind of did. And if we see it, we grab it and we reward off of it using kind of what they call their rails. So in order to go to the UK, we first have to make sure that Visa and MasterCard are enabled for this view in that country. Second, then we need to find and recruit kind of partners to then sign up for the program. And there's several steps. The biggest and the longest one, and the one we have the least control over, is Visa and MasterCard kind of being available as a loyalty network within that country. So in the UK, there is one, and we're working with them right now, but we are dependent on them because there's also some technical things that they need to do to enable us. And so we're really at the mercy of their prioritization around execution resources. And so, will it happen next year? I would say the chances are probably 25%. the most likely next country will be Canada because it's just a little bit easier. And we are working right now to sort that out.
All right, Frosty.
And
Sorry.
yeah, other countries is kind of the same thing. It's a country by country kind of thing, and it's a lot more complicated than just delivering what we do for the other elements of the game in any country.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, so Death Star mentioned he wants Frosty Frisbee to join. I might do that for a future like interview with other presidents because I'm gonna have a video. I have it in the queue for like presidents around Atlas Earth. Once the bugs and stuff and the features that I'm looking for in the map are done with, I'm gonna be doing that video. So congratulations on South Africa presidency, Frosty Frisbee, by the way. He did ask a question. One more question. Will there possibly be Sims aspects in the game one day? So like building your own house on the parcels you own, building more buildings. I think I've seen some concepts for that.
Yeah, I mean, we will add like some customizations and some things in the future. We kind of
Yeah.
touched on earlier this week, but yes, that will be coming in the future.
Yeah. So done delivering for the day. Now I'm gonna go home and make buffalo chicken pizza for dinner. Hey, it was great, Retro. It's awesome. Thank you so much. And yeah, congrats on South Africa presidency, Frosty Frisbee. I am going to eventually review presidents. Interview presidents from other countries as well. That is on the docket for 2025. It's just a little harder for me to figure out who are certain presidents, especially since a lot of them are also from the U.S. As a good example, Cupcake Queen did get president of France for like a short second for a few days. So you know, it's hard to kind of keep track of all those. So I do apologize for that. Yeah. So anything else? We got 5 minutes left. Count, King, Manning. This is great. This is a fun 2.5 hours.
So
Yeah,
I saw a question come up from Sip earlier. He was asking if we were pounding the
What is it?
energy drinks or something.
Oh,
to
energy
try
drinks.
to
Yeah,
going.
yeah. Yeah, I did not
And
see
so
that.
I
Let me
can
find
tell
it.
you, I
Oh,
I
it's
had
okay.
actually kicked caffeine and sugar habit for a little while before I started really buying heavy. But you know, after working all day and then trying to go out and buy parcels, I was doing a lot of Mountain Dew trying to stay awake. So that was definitely happening.
Man, that had to have been tough though. Just wow.
Yeah,
Well, I
I've
think
definitely
an
racked up a
enterprising,
lot of. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say an enterprising whale could get like Red Bull to sponsor them. The whole thing, right?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. For me, it was Starbucks and Dunkin's, but yeah, all time and night as well.
Yeah. All right. Will cities show borders in the map eventually? That's already in the map. Yeah, that's already in the
Yeah, I
map,
think
Frosty.
they weren't zooming in far enough probably to see
Yeah.
the cities.
Yeah, it's already there. C4 energy drinks are my favorite. I don't drink energy drinks. They would put me in the hospital. With my illness. So, all right. So, Palmer Husky, I'm personally looking forward to seeing what these convenience store and grocery stores are going to be when they hit the AMP. So, Manning, that's going to be a fun one. I think that's the one that everyone's looking for in 2025 is that one and the badges and boost tiers, especially the boost tiers. Like, what boost tier changes you're planning on, and your mic is on mute. Just letting you know.
Yeah, I was coughing.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? It'll be interesting to say. We should keep track of like what features you're most excited that we've announced versus this time next year. What in retrospectively, what's actually the thing you've liked the most? My guess is those two things are not going to be the thing that people say.
All right. Well, I'm actually for me, my personal. Well, I'm looking for the boost tiers. Like, what are the boost tiers going to be looking like for next year? You think? You're saying new boost tiers? I don't know. So yeah, that's pretty much it, everybody. 2.5 2.5 hours. This was great. Thank you, Manning. Thank you, King of Queens. Thank you, Count Maximus.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us here, and I'm happy to participate in the future ones, of course. And
Yeah.
I was wishing everybody, happy holidays and be safe, of course, and be safe being out there buying parcels too. So
Yeah. So yeah, and y'all, this was a great holiday brew. Again, I am doing a bonus brew this week, Tuesday night. It'll be a bowling mini game, Christmas Eve, 7 to 9. I will see you all then for sure. If something were to happen, I'll let you know, and I'll change the time. I mean, they can't change the minigame time, but like I do have other arrangements during Christmas Eve as well. I got to deal with. I want to try to get those done first, though. So yeah, this was great, everyone. I'll see you all on Tuesday. Thank you so much, everybody. We're gonna end the stream now. I will see you all on Tuesday. And you can meet them all at the official Atlas Earth Discord. If I don't have the Atlas Earth Discord on this one, I will put it on the description in the next hour or two. So thank you, everybody. We'll see you all next
See you in
time.
the
Bye.
minute.
thanks, guys. Take care.